In this video, we're going to take a look at how you can use your YouTube analytics, the data that you find in there, to optimize your channel, the amount of views you get, the amount of subscribers, and the amount of leads you attract. So if you're a realtor who's been trying to grow and scale on YouTube, but you haven't leveraged your analytics before, this video is for you, and let's get started. Hi there, welcome back to the Unbound Creative Agency channel. My name is Yoka, I'm the founder of Unbound, and we have helped dozens upon dozens of realtors launch and scale on YouTube in an organic way to attract quality leads instead of having to chase them. So if that's something that interests you, there's a link in the description to book a free discovery call with our team, and someone will walk you through what our agency program can do for you. Also, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to get updates on future videos. And then without further ado, let's dive into my YouTube analytics, and I'll show you how you can use that data to optimize your channel and videos. Okay, so for the purpose of this tutorial, I'm going to use my own YouTube channel. This is an inactive channel. I haven't uploaded anything on there for the past 10-11 months. So don't look at the numbers. It's really just for me to explain to you how you can get to your analytics, what kind of information you can find in there, and how you can use that to grow your channel in the future, to optimize your videos and your thumbnails. So let's get to it. What you want to do is in the right top corner, you're going to click on your little image, and that will open up all your settings basically. And then instead of going to your channel, if you click your channel, you're just going to come to this page. So instead what you're going to do is click YouTube Studio, and that will take you to the back end of your channel. This is also where you can optimize your channel for search, which is going to be a completely different video. But this is basically where you can find all the videos you've uploaded, all your content, your playlists, and also your analytics. So when you click on YouTube Studio, you are brought to your channel dashboard, which is what we're seeing now. And as you can see, the middle card already shows us some really basic analytics. So we can take a look at this already. And then if we want to go to the full analytics, sort of two options, you either click here, go to analytics, or on the left-hand side, just above where my head is at, you click on analytics. So I'm going to start off by saying that YouTube shows you the analytics of the past 28 days as a default. Once you go to your actual analytics dashboard, not your channel dashboard, your analytics dashboard, you are able to change that period. But so the first thing that you will see in your channel dashboard is your numbers for the past 28 days. So they will show you your current subscribers. And then if you've gained subscribers, there will be a green plus the amount of the subscribers you've gained. If it's negative, like mine, which is normal with an inactive channel, is -1 in the last 28 days. Then they also show you a summary of your views and your watch time with an arrow next to it where you can, if you hover over it, you can see what your typical range was. And when they say typical range, they compare it to the period that came before these 28 days. Same thing for your watch time. And then the top videos, this is not the last 28 days, it's the last 48 hours. And then you can sort of see which videos have done the best in the last 48 hours. If you want to, you can click on them and then you'll be brought to that video. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on go to channel analytics. And as you can see on the left-hand side as well, this has shifted to analytics. There's a lot of information here. I'm going to go over it step by step and tell you sort of like how you could interpret that, how you can use that to optimize certain things in your schedule, your upload schedule, your videos, thumbnails, your overall content, keywords, etc. So this sort of shows us the same thing as we saw in the overview that we saw in the channel dashboard. I am going to tell you that on the right-hand side, you can see real-time data, which is the last 48 hours. And so if you hover over these things, you can see that today I got 3 views on this channel, and then it even shows you the time slots because it's the last 48 hours. So it's actually between 6 and 7 I got 0 views, but between 5 and 6 p.m. I got 3 views. Again, these numbers are not earth-shattering, but it's just to show you how it works. So if you want to see the top videos, you can see them again here for the past 48 hours. Same thing here. This is the views, watch time, subscribers. At the top here, this is where you would change the time frame that you're looking at. So if you, let's say, want to see the last 3 months or the last year, this is where you would change that. You could select a certain month, a certain year, lifetime for your channel, or if you click custom, you would be able to select the dates yourself and then just click apply. I'm going to leave it as it is. And then the one thing that I do want to tell you about how you can sort of interpret these views is over in this graph, it will show you the last 28 days. And you can see that certain days have a higher peak than others. This is interesting because after a while of having your channel, you might see a certain pattern appear. You might notice that there are certain days each week that your channel is gathering more views. And then there are sort of 2 options. This could either be because on those days you upload new videos and so you gain more views. It could also be that you actually upload your videos on different days than on the ones where you see these peaks in the amount of views that you're getting. And that's sort of what I want to address. So for example, for me, I will see that this is Sunday, Tuesday, let's see, Saturday is almost nothing. But then Monday, all of a sudden I see a peak. But sort of Saturday and Sunday each time are like lesser days for views for me. And then once the week picks up, you can see like, oh, okay, this is where I am getting more views. So based on this, I would do it over a little bit longer time than 28 days. You can go and figure out if, for example, every Tuesday and Thursday you have peaks in views, those should be your upload dates. If it's Monday and Friday, or if there's one specific day every week where you see a massive difference in the amount of views, use those days to upload your videos. Because on YouTube, the first 24 hours are crucial. So where Instagram is, when you post something, it's the first 60 minutes that the algorithm sort of takes into account, is this post gonna go viral or not? And if in the first 60 minutes you didn't get a lot of engagement, they don't even show it on the feed. YouTube does it with the first 24 hours. So the engagement on your video, the first 24 hours is going to dictate how well YouTube is going to keep pushing that video in search results or suggested search. So this is something to keep in mind. Play around with those days in the beginning. Don't shift them around all the time. But if you can see that there's a clear pattern of, for example, every Monday, all of a sudden people in the office start watching videos, unfortunately, it's the truth, then you might consider uploading stuff on Monday. So that's something to keep in mind. Then you have watch time. This compared with the amount of views is how you would decide your upload dates. And then subscriber count doesn't show much here because it's a dormant channel. So not much to see here. This is something, if you have a bigger channel, let's say that you upload a new video and all of a sudden you see a massive drop off in subscribers, I would advise you to take a look at the video that you uploaded that day to sort of see, like, did I address a topic that did not resonate with my audience? So that's something you could do. And then in here, down below, you'll see your top videos in this period with their average view duration and the amount of views. It's interesting to look at, especially the average view duration. But I would say the most interesting thing about this is, let's say that you upload 4 videos a month, and you notice that the videos you've uploaded this month are not in your top videos for that period. Then you're going to want to have a look at the videos that are in the top videos for that period and see keyword-wise, topic-wise, how those might be better than the ones you've recorded this month, and then play with that. If you see that certain videos are having a higher view duration than what you normally get, if you see that certain topics are doing better than videos you've recently released, go back to the topics that work, create more videos on that. All right, next up is reach, and this is sort of where it gets really interesting. So first we're going to talk about impressions. This is how many times your video has shown up in the search results, in suggested search, how many times basically that little box with your thumbnail and your video title and beginning of your description has been shown to people. So for me, that's 2,000 times that month. That's 22% less than the month before. And if we go down, this is where it gets really interesting. This is what we are aiming for, right? The traffic source types. So the way that we explain YouTube for realtors is create content that people are actively searching for. You want to make sure that when someone types something in the search box, your videos are going to pop up in those search results and people can find you in an organic way. So when you look at your traffic sources, what we want to see is that most of your views are coming from YouTube search or suggested videos. So YouTube search is literally like someone types something in the search box, your video pops up. Suggested videos is the videos that show up on the right-hand side in the right-hand column when someone is already watching another video related to your topic, or sometimes it's just based on their previous search history. So you can see for this channel, 57% of my viewers came from YouTube search. 12.7 from suggested videos, and then you have external sources, which can be if you send it in an email to someone, shared it on Facebook, someone shared it with their friends, etc. Channel pages, this is, for example, when someone watched a video, clicked on your channel, then watched another video from your channel, the second view will be attributed to your channel page. Browse features, others, etc. And then, of course, you can go and click see more. We're going to do that in a second. Impressions and how they led to watch time. So again, it shows we had 2,000 impressions and 37% of those were from YouTube recommending your content with a 4.3% click-through rate, something we're going to look at in a minute. Views from impressions, average view duration, watch time from impressions in hours. And then playlists is something that you can play with, where you can optimize an entire playlist to rank in the search results, and then you can sort of see like how much of your traffic came from that. It's not enough traffic for this channel to really show you how that works. And then here is where I said external is, for example, social, etc., and that was good for 11.3% of our traffic, of our viewers. And then you can sort of see here Facebook. Of those 11.3%, 37.5% came from Facebook, WhatsApp, which means people have shared it because I did not send anything to anyone on WhatsApp. Google search, which is interesting because if you optimize your videos for YouTube search and someone searches something on Google, especially when it's a how-to, sometimes your videos show up as well. And then they can come to your channel from there. Yahoo search, Facebook Messenger, etc. And then traffic sources, suggested video, and then they show you the portion of your total traffic, but also which videos gathered most of their views from suggested video from search. Again, there's a lot of info here. What I want to look at is if you click here on see more, which is the traffic source types, see more. You can see the different traffic sources. If you then click on video, there we go, you'll be able to see for the past month which video got the most views, etc. We'll get back to the videos in a minute. So if you click on traffic source, and this is very in-depth already, but if you click on traffic source and then click on YouTube search, you will be able to see the exact keywords that people have typed in search to get to your videos. And now for me, there hasn't really been enough data for YouTube to show accurately how many impressions, etc. that gave, but it can show you the different keywords people have typed in to get to my videos. And so if we go back, that is search. What is also always interesting is to go to suggested videos. I hope we have enough data for this. Aha. And then you can see the other videos that people came from. So if, for example, I explained to you, suggested results is when someone's watching another video and your video shows up on the right-hand side. Now, what's interesting for me is to go and take a look, what other videos were these people looking at, and then maybe get some new ideas for future videos that I could make as well, because clearly people who watched that video were interested in my video, and then maybe I can just make sure that I also have such a video on my channel. Facebook pixel tracking, Facebook pixel code. This is actually my own video. So someone came from one of my videos and then clicked in the suggested. Finding business owners on Facebook. This is my own video again. This is someone else's video. So this is also my own video, but this is someone else's video. So I would take a look at what other videos people are coming from, and based on that, I can get some new ideas for titles or topics that I could address. So that's a good one. And then we're gonna take a look at the video tab now, because what I'm also interested in is actual click-through rate. And before we do that, sorry, I'm jumping a bit back and forth, but I just want to show you that you can also find that here in the dashboard. So if you click impressions click-through rate, we're talking about if my video has been shown in the search results or suggested search for 100 people, 4.3% of people actually clicked. Now, that is decent. It's not great. There are different things that compel people to click. It's a title, but especially a thumbnail. So a thumbnail does a lot, especially on mobile. Often like title and description aren't shown that clearly, but the thumbnail is shown. So it gives you an idea of, okay, so on average, my thumbnails are gathering a 4.3% click-through rate. How can I improve that? So we would then go and click see more. All right. And so what I am interested in is this one. All right. So now you can see here, again, it's for the past 28 days. Now you can see here that they have said, okay, on average, you have a 4.3% click-through rate. These are your best performing thumbnails. And then these are the worst, basically. And then next to that, you can see the impressions. So this is how many times it was shown, and then the amount of views. So for example, this is a podcast interview. It was only got 14 impressions, but it got 3 views. So that means a 14.3% click-through rate on that thumbnail. And then you can go and look at it and sort of analyze the elements that you've used in that thumbnail and compare it to the ones that aren't performing as well. So as you can see here, there's actually 3 out of the 5 best performing videos with click-through rate are from my podcast. So these clearly are doing something right. Like these thumbnails are clearly doing something right because they're gathering an above average click-through rate. Like anything above 3% is considered average. Anything below that should be taken a look at. This one had 53 views in the past 28 days. For a dormant channel, that's pretty good. And as you can see, this was the thumbnail. Then here, same thing. And now I'm interested to see if we go and we look at a thumbnail that isn't performing as well, such as how to set up Facebook pixel events. Is that any different? You could say, well, the top part of the text isn't that readable. The image is much darker than everything else. Otherwise, it looks pretty much the same style as everything else. But what you can do for your not so well performing thumbnails is that you can swap them out with other ones. and see if that works better, so that you can find a template that works well for you. Because if YouTube shows your videos in search or suggested 100 times and only one person clicks, YouTube is going to say, oh, this isn't relevant. This isn't relevant content. It's going to stop suggesting it, stop putting it in the search results. Purely from a business perspective, of course, for YouTube, they want to make as much money on advertising. They need people to stay on the platform. So they want to recommend content that is in the best interest of their interest. And if you have low click-through rate, they're not going to show your stuff anymore. So that's something to keep in mind as well. Then traffic source we had, and then there's a bunch of stuff that you can take a look at to understand your audience better, which is also a great thing to know more about when you're creating content. I'm not sure if in my case there will be enough data to actually do something with that. No. Geography, the viewer age. Yeah, we don't have enough data to actually show you something here, but if you have a larger channel, you'll be able to see more about that. And then you can just play around with it a little bit, like look at what playlists work best, what end screen element types work best, card types. There's so much information in here, but just based on this, you can already optimize your channel a lot. So I'm gonna leave it at this. All right, so that are just the basics. There's a lot more that you can find in those analytics, in that analytics dashboard than what I've shown you. What I would suggest is that you just take about an hour and just play around with it. Go and have a look at exactly what data YouTube was able to gather about your videos and your channel, and then use that to optimize everything, basically. If this was helpful to you, make sure you share it with someone who could use the information as well. And then in the meantime, make sure you check out these videos over here, and then I will see you next time.